Hey, what's going on, guys? Video 3 in the intro series. Coming along, bumping, rolling. I think a lot of people underestimate what it takes to do a bunch of videos. It gets tough after a while. The trick is do like a few of them at a time, and then you just don't got to worry about it. And you can slowly get yourself ahead. So, covered who I am. I covered what do I do. Why do I do it? That's the big question, right? Why do I do what I do? Well, here's the thing. When I first got into business several years ago, when I first got into, actually it was in the finance industry, selling cars and finance, I did both at the same time. The thing is when you're starting off as an entrepreneur, business owner, and actually even as you're more established, as you're going through, the thing is, it's lonely. We get lost, we get confused, we feel like we're on a roller coaster spinning on a hamster wheel, and it's just, how do we get off this hamster wheel? What do we do? Where do we go? We need processes, we need systems, we need structure, we need all of these things, and we don't know where to start. Where do we start? How do we start? When do we start? What do we do? It's always interesting to talk to companies that are doing $5, $7, $10 million a year, and they don't really have much of a defined process, much of a sales process. A sales process, a marketing process, any sort of processes. It's just kind of like, well, we've been doing that. We don't know what we're doing, but we've been doing something, and we just know that it's working. But trying to duplicate it, trying to put it on paper, trying to do all these things, it's not working. So it works, but it doesn't work. Or we need to scale, we need to grow, we need to do all this stuff. We don't know how to do it, and that's a big thing. That's a very common concern among business owners, entrepreneurs as a whole. Doesn't matter whether you started yesterday or you started 5-10 years ago. What do I do? How do I do it? Where do I go? Like, how do I keep myself motivated? How do I keep my staff motivated? How do I keep things running smoothly? How do I keep the lights on? How do I keep doors open? Like, all of these different things. Very often, like all too often, you talk to business owners who are doing well, and it's like, it's always the 80-20 rule, right? Like 20% of the customers, 20% of the clients are driving all the revenue, or driving all the production. Well, what happens if one or two of those big accounts pull out? What happens to the organization? What happens to the business? Where's the security? The other thing is time, right? Time management. How to set up routines and systems and structures to manage time effectively, manage time efficiently, how to go about working on the business as opposed to working in the business all the time. Those are common concerns. Those are common questions across the board. We get into business, we start our businesses, we start our lives with these big hopes, these big dreams, these big goals, right? We want to do all this thing. We want more time with the family. We want to be around for the kids growing up. We want to travel more. We want to do all these things. And then all of a sudden we just wake up one day and it's like nothing's happened. Sure, we've got a big flourishing business, but heaven forbid we take a step away for a minute. We take a step away for a couple days. Now there's nothing but fires to put out. What to do, where to go, where to turn. Not only that, how do we set up some sort of a system that people can be plugged into and run efficiently, run effectively? Less training costs. All of these things I struggled with when I first got into business, when I first started. Sometimes I still do struggle with this stuff. I have coaches, I have mentors, I have people guiding me on this journey as well. We all do. I mean, if you think about it, somebody taught us how to drive, somebody taught us how to ride a bike, somebody taught us how to talk, somebody taught us colors. Everything that we know, we've been taught by somebody. Some things have been programmed, some things have been reprogrammed, some things have been thrown away. But in order to keep going and keep progressing, not just on a level as a society, but how to keep going and keep progressing on an individual level and keep growing and keep hitting those targets and keep knocking that stuff off, is a big question mark for people. That's why I do it. I know what it's like. I've been in those shoes. I've been lost. I've been scared. I've been lonely. I've been trying to figure everything out on my own, and it's not fun. And if I can help even just a handful of people not go where I've gone, not be where I've been, and to overcome the shortfalls and the pitfalls that I took when I first started out, it's all worth it at the end of the day.